Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we'll be taking a slightly tongue-in-cheek look at Crossfire with the RX 6500 XT. Is it any good? Keep watching to find out. Okay, so first of all, just to clarify, technically the RX 6500 XT does not officially support Crossfire. Now, that is the official line. Now, obviously, because I've got two graphics cards, I was free with my wallet and decided to buy two of these, kind of by mistake. I figured it would be a good idea to try. I've got a motherboard which will support it and has got two PCI Express slots which are suitable for these cards. So I figured I'd give it a go. A few of you have seen the reviews of these and asked, actually, does it support Crossfire? So yes, you've probably seen as well, I did a small post and showed it actually in the PC. You're probably seeing footage of it as well now also. And it all seems to be okay. Now, when I started off to begin with, I thought, well, let's try the simple things. Let's look into the software and see if it actually can be enabled. Now, they've actually changed the name of it, so it isn't called Crossfire anymore. Technically, it's now called MGPU, which now, due to DirectX 12, it does actually allow you to use multiple GPUs. So there is actually an option in the software driver for MGPU and also frame pacing, which basically tells the computer or tells the graphics cards kind of to steady up, or if one of the cards is getting slightly ahead of the other, which is what we'd normally see, and you'd see things like tearing or micro stutters, it basically tries to remedy that. And actually in some of the benchmarks, which you're seeing on the screen right now, it actually works really well and works very smoothly, and we were seeing actually a massive jump in performance in titles such as Time Spy, and we actually almost doubled the performance. So we went from somewhere in the region of around about 5,000 points and went up to around about 9,000 points, which kind of puts it into the region slightly under, well, quite a bit under, the RX 5700 XT, which is a particularly powerful card. So at the beginning, I was feeling very, very confident. I was thinking, yeah, I'm onto a bit of a winner here. This could be great. Sadly, ladies and gentlemen, this is where it all went very, very badly wrong. So all of the usual games which I wanted to test, so we've got Far Cry 5, which actually on the Crossfire list is actually listed as compatible. The Junior engine in particular is actually optimized for Crossfire. No, not a thing. It actually just basically run exactly the same. And you can probably see on the graphs on the side, you can see that GPU number 2, all the lines are basically completely flat. So it's just the primary GPU which is doing everything. So not a great start there with Far Cry and the Junior engine. So I figured also Fortnite is actually fully compatible with it and apparently does very well in certain instances with Crossfire enabled. So I figured I'd give that a go, both in DirectX 11 mode, which it shouldn't really work, but potentially it could do, and also in the beta DirectX 12 mode. And sadly, as you can see from the results there, yeah, we're still getting excellent frames because it is a relatively easy game to run, but certainly one of the GPUs is being a little bit of a slouch and basically is idling whilst the other one is doing all the work. So, yep, no points there either. So I did actually test some other games as well, so I've had a little bit of go with CSGO, and yep, exactly the same thing, it just didn't budge at all. And this is really odd because Crossfire support for previous generation of cards actually is supported on these titles, and some of them work particularly well with that. I did try Wreckfest as well, being that is one of my all-time favourites, and nothing on that whatsoever, and actually it was running like an absolute dog, so it seemed to actually have a negative response there. So weirdly, I'm not entirely sure where this leaves us. Now technically both cards can be used in MGPU mode, as the driver will say. Whether or not it needs to be baked into the games and updated drivers, etc., it does seem to be more reliant on DirectX 12, as we saw in the Time Spy, where we did actually get a really good improvement. And again, these came out to be somewhere in the region of like RX 5700 XT level, which if you could buy one of those now, you'd be paying sort of £400 or £500. So in theory, at £180 each or £200 each for argument's sake, £400 worth of card, you kind of are in that competing distance. So potentially this could, if the software worked, could work out to be very well, which really leads me to how this video is going to wrap up. Essentially, it is a non-starter at present. Now potentially, because obviously DirectX 12 is still somewhat in its infancy, things could improve, drivers could improve. AMD may actually do whatever they need to do to the driver so that it says, yep, SLI works, or Crossfire works rather, on these particular cards. It's kind of weird how it's in limbo, but I guess that really is pretty much how SLI and Crossfire has been for the longest time. So if you are watching this and you're seriously considering buying 2 of these cards to run in Crossfire mode because you can't buy a better graphics card at the moment, simply do not do it. It isn't worth doing. It really, really isn't. And also I would say, just to reiterate, these 2 cards, they're not the most powerful cards to begin with. So if you are just getting into entry-level gaming, because these are the only ones in the market, they certainly are suitable. Whether or not they're the best option, again, time will tell. Things could get dramatically better, but on the flip side, things could get dramatically worse. So yeah, they're not great, but they get the job done. But they definitely don't in Crossfire mode. So anyway, let me know what you think about this in Crossfire mode. Were you expecting to see more, being that 3D Mark Time Spy actually showed some really, really promising results? I've got to be honest with you, I'm really gutted, and maybe you guys are too. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. But for the meantime, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next Crossfire video. Thanks for watching.